KSL News at 4 starts now.
Thanks for joining us. We are just days away from Memorial Day weekend, the unofficial summer kickoff and the beginning of the 100 deadliest days on Utah roads. And as always, UDOT and Utah Highway Patrol say their only acceptable goal this year is 0 deaths. Mike Hedrick is anchoring our team coverage today. And Mike, officials kicking off the 100 deadliest days today.
Yeah, Ashley, Utah Highway Patrol says traditionally, historically, when you talk about all the deaths that happen on Utah roads each and every year, 25% of those deaths happen during the 100 deadliest days of the year. And that starts this Memorial Day weekend.
Speed, impairment, drowsy driving, distracted driving, making a simple choice not to wear a seatbelt in a single instant can have consequences that will last a lifetime.
So far this year, 80 people have been killed on Utah roads in 74 crashes. According to statistics with the Road to Zero campaign, from January 1st to May 22nd of last year, more than 90 people were killed in 81 crashes. Also last year, more than 80 people died from Memorial Day weekend to Labor Day, almost the same amount of deaths from January to May. So we're going into this year's 100 deadliest days with a number slightly lower than last year, but it is not that goal of 0. Today, UHP and UDOT warned that there's going to be some extra troopers out here on the highways throughout this entire weekend, making sure that give you a friendly reminder if you're driving erratically or just inappropriately out there. They want to make sure that these roads are safe, and that's why they got the extra troopers. We do have team coverage for you tonight. Devin Mashuli is going to talk about the weather to see if it's actually going to cooperate with us as we head out onto the roads. Rain, snow, sunshine, she'll talk about that. First, so let's go to Kara Bracken, who has a warning from a man who made one very bad decision, and he is paying for it.
Today we're hearing from a man who is miles per hour.
All right, that was Kara Bracken for us. Kara, thank you very much. Memorial Day, it's one of the deadliest days across the entire country each and every year. It's followed by New Year's Eve. You've also got the 4th of July and Juneteenth. That rounds out your top 4 right there. And 2 of those days are during the 100 deadliest days. So let's talk numbers here for a moment. Get back to some of the statistics for you. According to data collected by California-based law firm Omega Law Group, they took a look at information from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration from 2017 to 2021. Memorial Day has an average of 112 deadly crashes each year across the country. That is more than a 5% increase from an average day in the month of May. The most dangerous holiday for Utahns is not too far away. It is on Juneteenth. The month of June is also especially dangerous, with an average of 115 people killed in a crash across the country per day. So, as the masses hit the road for the Memorial Day weekend, let's see how that weather is going to check out for us. And we've got Devin Mashuli right now continuing with our team coverage. And Devin, it's sunshine and blue skies right now, but the big question is, when we hit the roads, is that what it's going to look like this weekend?
Yeah, there's already in the last 24 hours been an increase in the chances for rain on Saturday.
All right, Devin, looking forward to that. Thank you very much. Now, the 100 deadliest days come and start this weekend for a very good reason. It is really the beginning of summer, and that means a lot of people are driving recklessly. You have these nice dry roads out here. People may think they can do some things that they shouldn't be doing out there. So what can you do as a driver out there to make sure things are a little bit safer for not just you, but all the other drivers out there? Last year, UDOT and the Department of Public Safety launched a new Back to the Basics Zero Fatalities campaign ahead of the 100 deadliest days. It encourages drivers to focus on things like wearing your seatbelt, obeying road signs and traffic signals. Make sure to keep a safe distance from cars and avoid texting or eating while driving so that you can be aware of your surroundings. Bottom line here, you got to stay focused when you're out there, Ashley, and I think that really is the key. One of the things is be patient as well. Sometimes we're impatient, and that's usually what leads to crashes, is when we're just not focused on what we should be focused on out there. Back to you.
Yeah, we always hear these reminders, these tips, year after year, but we hear them for a reason. We need to remember these out on Utah roads. Mike, thank you. We'll see you in just a bit. Well, KSL is Focus Live starts now.
Coming up next on Live at 5.
We are just days away from the beginning of the summer driving season. We've got some tips to get you from point A to point B safely during the 100 deadliest days on Utah roads.
Plans to revive
Shelby Lofton.
Great story, Shelby. Thank you. Well, on the road to zero fatalities, KSL is committed to finding solutions for the far too many deadly crashes on our roadways. Mike Hedrick out live right now with the message from the Department of Public Safety and UDOT today as, Mike, we approach the deadliest days on our roads.
Yeah, Ashley, we're talking about Memorial Day to Labor Day. Essentially, the summer months is when these most deadliest days on Utah roads occur. And far too often during these summer months, we have people losing their lives, and that's a big concern. So let's talk numbers here for a moment to put some of these things into perspective for you. Last summer, 85 people lost their lives on Utah roads during the 100 deadliest days. It was actually an improvement from the 98 people killed in car crashes the summer before that. Lives lost, and in some cases, lives ruined when we get careless behind the wheel. That is a message from Cody Laycock today, who's behind bars for a crash that he caused, killing 2 women back in 2021.
These women were great women. They were mothers, they were grandmothers, they were daughters, and their family was huge. It not only impacted the ones who died, but it impacted everybody.
Cody was convicted of driving recklessly and is now an inmate at the state prison in Gunnison, serving time there. 3 third-degree felonies. Distracted driving and speeding, often the causes of these terrible accidents. Listen to this. Utah Highway Patrol made 40,000 traffic stops for speeding last year. Of those, nearly 2,000 drivers were going more than 100 miles per hour. UHP is promising to be out in full force throughout these summer months, making sure that people are driving safely as they're out here. They're obeying the traffic laws. If not, might see those lights behind you as they gently remind you you need to stay safe out on the roads. I've got some more statistics for you. Let me show you some numbers here. This one's a sad one because what they're saying is Utah, quite frankly, needs to do better. 18.6% of deadly crashes here in the state involve a young driver. That means between the ages of 15 to 20. And that number is the second worst in the country, trailing only North Dakota. Insurance companies say young drivers are more and more likely to get into a deadly crash for a number of reasons, including lack of experience, risky behavior, distracted driving, and driving under the influence. Utah has some of the youngest drivers in the country by percentage as well, with just under 7% of drivers on the road 19 years old and under. That is the third most in the nation. Last Thanksgiving, another dangerous holiday on the road there. We spoke with a couple of young drivers who lost their 2 friends to a crash in Box Elder County after they decided to get into the car without a seatbelt. 18-year-old River Manning and 17-year-old Gage Manning were thrown from the car and died.
It's just been devastating. Like, there's no words to describe it.
It's just every time I get in the car, you know, whether it's my family, my friends, anyone, I make sure everyone's wearing their seatbelt.
I can't tell you how many times we've responded to crashes that look like they could have been no way someone survived. They look so severe, but because that someone took the few minutes to take that and put that seatbelt on, they're here with us today.
Seatbelts, obviously very important. They save lives, and we've seen that each and every year. And so one of the other big issues out here is construction, right? It's not an issue for we need this growth, right? They need to be out there doing their job. But what are we doing as drivers to make sure they are safe? That is one of the concerns of UDOT as their crews are out there trying to expand these roads and make them safe for us. You got to figure we're only feet away from them. Some travelers going 70, 80 miles per hour down the road. So we need to be cautious. City and state crews doing their best to stay out of our way and minimize the impacts of their work, but they do need our help. Slow driving and following all posted construction signs will make sure everybody stays safe on the road. UDOT workers telling us that they see way too many close calls, especially on the freeway.
I think the motoring public really can't imagine what it's like to be separated from traffic that's going 50 to 80 to 90 miles an hour by just an orange barrel. It's pretty scary, actually.
Yeah, it is pretty scary. UDOT says to expect delays on the road around Memorial Day, but they will be stopping work at some locations to ease some of that congestion. Some areas where drivers should expect restrictions include I-15 near 5600 South and Riverdale Road in Weber County. The freeway will be down to just 3 lanes while crews work on widening an interchange. SR 12 near Henryville They'll experience detours there as UDOT performs a bridge replacement. SR 132 in Nephi will be open, but with alternating one-way traffic signals. And drivers going to and from Lake Powell on SR 24, that's going to be busy between I-70 and Hanksville, should expect slower speed limits, flaggers on the road, and delays of up to 15 minutes. Memorial Day, obviously a big one where we want to go and see our families hang out all summer long, right? 4th of July, Labor Day to kind of bookend this whole summer. The key is be patient out there, be safe. You can't hear it enough because, again, when we have the number of crashes, and Ashley, you know, we cover these, it almost seems each and every day. It is a certain reminder, unfortunately, a deadly reminder to be safe as we're out there.
Oh, absolutely correct, Mike. And really, there are a couple ways that we can do that. We appreciate you giving us those tips. We'll see you in just a bit at 6 o'clock. Now, a simple way to stay safe on the road.
State every year. The next 3 months are considered the most deadly of all. And KSL is committed to finding solutions on the road to zero fatalities. My co-anchor Mike Hedrick is live right now with the costly mistakes too many of us are making behind the wheel. Mike?
Yeah, you're absolutely right here, Deanie. Speeding, alcohol, drugs, not wearing your seatbelt, distracted driving, all these things are some of the biggest issues that UHP says they see out here on the highways. They say last year alone, 40,000 drivers were pulled over for speeding.
Crashes are not accidents. Crashes are the consequences of bad decisions and bad choices that unfortunately every single one of us is susceptible to. Speed.
UHP Colonel Michael Rapich making it very clear here. Most of these incidents on the road are preventable. Cody Laycock knows that all too well, making a very poor decision that got him confined to the Utah State Prison. He made the mistake of driving recklessly on a day back in 2021, causing a crash that killed 2 women and seriously injured a third.
I thought I was invincible. I thought I could be untouched. That's not the case. It can happen to anybody.
There are laws in place to prevent these things from happening. His goal for his life has changed. His future that he had planned for himself is different now.
The Laycocks sharing their tragic story today in hopes the rest of us will be more careful behind the wheel, especially as we hit the road for our summer vacations. Last year, 85 people were killed on Utah roads during the 100 deadliest days. That was actually an improvement from the year before when 98 people died. Nearly 1 a day during the summer months. That is far too many. UHP troopers say that they will be out in force throughout this summer, especially this weekend as well, Deanie. As we talk about the Memorial Day weekend, a lot of people are going to be out here on the roads. So again, this isn't rocket science, okay? We've said this before, and unfortunately we'll continue to have to say it again. Be patient out there and obey the traffic laws. As you do so, that ups your chances of being safe and everyone else out here tremendously.
It's powerful to hear him differentiate between accidents and crashes, right? Help us keep that in mind.
Yep, it is.
All right, Mike, thank you. Stick with KSL as we examine ways to make the 100 deadliest days safer for all of us. You can follow your Road to Zero on our Road to Zero coverage on our KSL-TV.com.